The sun burned over the ruins of old Nevada. The land was dry, cracked, and silent, except for the soft crunch of boots over sand and metal. John Carter moved carefully, his eyes scanning the wreckage half buried in the desert. Once a soldier, now a scavenger, Carter knew this area better than anyone. He had walked these ruins for years, picking through old tech left behind after the climate collapse. But today felt different. The air buzzed, low and steady, like a hum coming from beneath the ground. He paused. There it was again, a strange vibration under his boots. Carter knelt beside a jagged hill of black metal. It didn't look human-made. Smooth lines, no bolts, no seams, just like the stories. Years ago, people whispered about an alien ship crashing here. The government denied it, fenced off the area, and posted warning signs. But fences don't last in the desert, and Carter didn't believe in lies. He pulled out a hand scanner and waved it near the metal. The screen flickered. A signal. Weak, but real. His heart thudded. He followed the signal deeper into the wreck. Wind blew dust into his coat, but he didn't stop. Then he saw it. A strange object, half buried in sand, small, round, like a glass orb with glowing lines inside. It pulsed slowly, like it was breathing. Carter reached for it. As his fingers touched the surface, the humming grew louder. The ground shook lightly beneath him. Suddenly, his radio crackled. Echo base to patrol. Something's activating near Sector 7. Get eyes on that wreck now. Carter froze. Military. Still watching, after all these years. He stuffed the orb into his bag and ran. Dust kicked up around his boots. In the distance, black trucks rolled across the plain. Armed men jumped out, scanning the area. Carter ducked behind a broken engine, heart pounding. He knew how they worked. Find the wreck, secure the site, erase the evidence, erase the witnesses. He had to get out. Slipping between the shadows of broken alien metal, he moved fast. The orb in his bag grew warmer. It pulsed against his back like a heartbeat. When he reached his bike, parked behind a dune, he didn't look back. As the engine roared to life and he sped away across the sand, one thought burned in his mind. The ship was waking up, and he was the only one who knew. John Carter didn't sleep that night. Back at his small outpost, a shack built from old cargo containers, he sat at a metal table with the strange orb in front of him. It rested on a cloth, glowing faintly in the dark. It pulsed every few seconds. Quiet, steady, like it was alive. Carter reached out and touched it again. Warm, smooth. As his fingers brushed the surface, a small spark jumped to his skin. His radio turned off, crackled back to life. A soft voice, robotic but clear, spoke in a language he didn't understand. The orb lit up bright for a moment, then dimmed again. "What the hell are you?" Carter whispered. He stepped outside. The desert was silent. The stars above seemed brighter than usual. But then something caught his eye. A streak of light moved across the sky, then another, then 5 more. Not falling stars. They moved too slow, too straight. Carter grabbed his binoculars. He focused on the largest object. It wasn't natural. Long, metallic, with blue lights running down the sides. Ships, dozens of them, heading toward Earth. His blood ran cold. The orb suddenly made a sound. A low hum followed by another robotic phrase. Then the signal changed. Not just in his shack. All over the world. TVs, phones, satellites. Everything stopped for 30 seconds. Then a new signal replaced them. A single image. A dark, sharp face with glowing eyes. Alien. Real. It spoke in perfect English. "This is Commander Threxvolto of the Arakan fleet. You have something that belongs to us." Carter stared at the screen, unable to move. "You have 13 Earth days to return our vessel. If not, we will retrieve it by force. This is your only warning." The message ended. Silence fell again. Then chaos. News channels fired up. Military leaders called for emergency meetings. The public screamed for answers. People who had denied the alien crash now demanded the truth. Carter turned off the radio. He looked at the orb again. It was no longer pulsing gently. Now it blinked fast, like a countdown. He felt the weight of it. He didn't ask for this. He didn't want to be part of any war, but somehow he was right in the middle of it. Above him the stars no longer looked peaceful, they looked like the edge of a storm. For 2 days the world held its breath. The skies were quiet, but fear spread fast. People emptied stores. Governments activated defense systems. Fighter jets patrolled city skies. John Carter stayed off the grid. He watched everything from a small solar-powered screen in his shack. The alien warning was being played over and over. News anchors tried to calm people, but their eyes were full of fear. Carter didn't blame them. The orb, still glowing, sat beside him. It hadn't stopped pulsing since the alien fleet arrived. Each pulse felt stronger now, like it was building towards something. He studied it carefully. He tried scanning it again, but the device only showed static. He even tried to open it, but nothing worked. Then something strange happened. As he held it, a small panel slid open on the side of the orb. A beam of blue light shot out and pointed toward the floor. The floor lit up. A map appeared. Holographic, 3-dimensional. It showed the wrecked starship buried in the desert. But now it wasn't quiet. Lines of energy flowed through it, glowing veins that pulsed like the orb. The ship was waking up. Suddenly, his shack began to shake. A low rumble passed through the ground. Outside, dust rose in thick clouds. Carter rushed out. In the distance, back toward the crash site, something massive pushed upward through the sand. A tall black tower, part of the buried alien ship, had risen from the ground. It glowed blue, pulsing in rhythm with the orb. Helicopters flew in fast, circling the tower. Soldiers dropped in. They were already trying to take it. Carter knew what came next. He threw the orb in his bag, jumped on his desert bike, and sped toward the crash site. When he got close, he parked on a ridge and crawled to the edge. Below, soldiers surrounded the tower. Tanks rolled in. Scientists in hazmat suits examined the rising structure. Then the sky flashed. A blue beam came down from the sky and struck the ground near the soldiers. The explosion knocked several of them off their feet. Everyone froze. Another beam hit a tank, melting it in seconds. The fleet wasn't waiting anymore. The attack was precise, controlled, a warning shot. No civilians were hit. Then the voice of Commander Threx Full echoed across all radios again. "This is your second warning. We do not wish to destroy your world. Return what is ours." Carter's hands tightened around the orb in his bag. He wasn't just a witness anymore. He had the key, and both sides wanted it. John Carter rode fast through the desert night. The alien orb pulsed in his backpack, glowing brighter with every mile. He didn't know where he was going, only that he had to keep moving. The military was locking down roads, searching for anything connected to the tower. They were looking for him. He stopped near an abandoned radio tower on the edge of the desert. From the top, he could see the lights of New Nevada far in the distance. He climbed halfway and pulled out an old satellite dish. He connected it to a solar battery and turned it toward the stars. Then, he placed the orb on a metal tray and aimed a signal booster at it. He didn't know if it would work, but he had to try. "Whoever you are," he said, speaking into the mic, "I have the device. I don't want war. I want to talk." At first, nothing happened. Then the air changed. The night went quiet. The stars above him shimmered. And then, a voice answered. "This is Enclave Unit 17. You are speaking to the Arakan fleet." John swallowed hard. "I want to speak with Commander Threxvalis." Silence. Then a new voice came through. Cold, deep, calm. "I am Threxvalis. Identify yourself." "My name is John Carter. I found the device near the wrecked ship. I didn't steal it. I didn't even know what it was. You are in possession of sacred Arakan technology. You must return it." "I want to. But Earth's military won't let me near the ship. They think they can use it. They think they can win a war." "There will be no war," Threxval replied. "There will be only correction." John stepped back. "Look, I get it. You want your ship. But Earth isn't ready for this. They're afraid. You start attacking cities, they'll fire back. It'll be a mess for both sides. You believe there is another way, John said. Let me meet you. Not Earth's leaders, just me. We talk. I give you the device. You walk away. No war. Another pause. You are a soldier. Used to be. Now I'm just trying to stop another war. The voice softened slightly. Send your coordinates. We will send an envoy. John gave the location. Then he packed the orb and climbed down. A few hours later, just before dawn, a sleek silver pod landed near the old radio tower. It made no sound. The air shimmered around it. The hatch opened. A tall alien stepped out. Gray skin, dark eyes, and silver armor that glowed faintly. I am Alta, first speaker, the alien said. You are the human who wishes to avoid destruction. Yes, John said. He held up the orb. This is yours. I didn't mean to take it. I just found it. Alta studied him, then nodded. You are different from your leaders. You seek understanding. I don't trust them, John said. But I don't trust you either. Not yet. I'm here because I want peace. Then perhaps peace is possible, Alta said. They talked for hours. About the ship. About the war. About Earth's fear. John learned the ship had crashed by accident. A scout vessel, damaged in a space battle long ago. The orb was a command core, needed to safely shut down the ship's power. Without it, the ship was unstable. If Earth tried to unlock it, it could explode with the force of a nuclear bomb. John felt a chill. I'll help you get the ship back, he said. But we have to do it right. No more attacks. No more threats. Let me talk to the people in charge. Give me a chance. Alta looked at him carefully. One chance, John Carter. No more. John nodded. The future of Earth now rested on what he would do next. The sky was heavy with clouds as John Carter rode toward the crash site once more. Beside him in a small rover was Alta, the alien envoy. The silver pod that had brought him to Earth was hidden behind a canyon ridge, cloaked and silent. John had called someone he trusted, an old friend from the military named Commander Holt. She was now part of Earth's Crisis Response Command. If anyone could arrange a meeting, it was her. They met just before sunrise near a hidden checkpoint. Holt stepped out of a secure vehicle and stared in shock when she saw Alta. You weren't kidding, she said. That's an alien. A diplomat, John replied. He came to stop the war, not start one. Alta gave a small bow. Commander Holt. We ask for peace and the return of our vessel. Holt hesitated, then signaled her men to lower their weapons. We'll talk, but the generals won't like it. I don't care what they like, John said. If we don't do this right, cities will burn. They drove together toward the crash site. The area was now a military fortress. Tanks, drones, and hundreds of troops surrounded the black alien tower that had risen days earlier. Helicopters circled in the sky. When John arrived, he was met by Earth's defense minister, a man named Varric. You brought an alien here, Varric barked. What were you thinking? I was thinking of stopping a war, John said calmly. They don't want to fight. They just want their ship. Alta stepped forward. Your soldiers are tampering with the vessel's core. If they continue, it will detonate. Millions will die. The minister's face paled. That's a threat. No, Alta replied. It's physics. A tense silence followed. Then alarms began to blare. Technicians ran out of the tower, shouting. We triggered something. One screamed. It's heating up inside. We can't stop it. The alien ship had begun to glow. Blue energy surged through its outer walls. Everyone looked at John. He took the orb from his bag. This is the key, he said. Give me 5 minutes. Let me shut it down. You're not going in alone, Varric snapped. I have to. The ship knows me now. It responds to me. Alta touched John's shoulder. Be careful. You carry more than technology now. You carry our trust. John nodded and ran toward the tower. Inside, The air pulsed with power. Lights flashed in complex patterns. The floor trembled. He followed the orb's pulses, deeper into the core. When he reached the heart of the ship, he saw it. An energy chamber swirling with light. Machines buzzed. Panels shifted. John stepped forward and placed the orb into a hollow socket in the center. The ship responded. A deep hum filled the air. The light softened. The shaking stopped. Outside, the blue glow faded. The tower became silent once more. John walked out, sweating and pale. He looked at the crowd of soldiers, scientists and officers. "It's done," he said. "It's safe." Varric turned to Aelta. "Take your ship, just go, and never come back." Aelta said nothing. He looked at John. "You did what many in your kind could not. You listened." Then he turned to leave. The Arakan fleet, waiting above Earth, received the signal. Within minutes, they began to rise. Peace, at least for now, had been chosen. But it wasn't over yet. The ship was calm again, but Earth was not. News of the alien meeting spread fast. Some called John Carter a hero. Others called him a traitor. Protests broke out in cities. People were scared. They didn't trust the aliens. And they didn't trust their own leaders either. The military wanted control of the alien ship. Scientists wanted to keep studying it. Politicians argued over what to do next. But the Arakan fleet was still in orbit, waiting. John met with Aelte one last time near the base of the Black Tower. The alien envoy stood tall, his face unreadable. "My people are growing impatient," Aelte said. "Your leaders delay the return. They argue. They threaten. We are ready to take the ship by force if needed." John looked tired. "Give me one more day. I'll fix this. I promise." "You do not speak for your world." "No," John said, "but someone has to speak for peace." That night, John stood in front of the Earth Council. Top generals, scientists, and world leaders, all gathered in a secure underground base. He placed the alien orb on the table between them. "This is your choice," he said, his voice clear. "We can hand the ship over and live. Or we can try to control something we don't understand, and die." The room went quiet. General Varric slammed his fist on the table. "If we give them the ship, we lose everything. They'll see us as weak." "No," John said calmly. "They'll see us as wise." A scientist stood up. "We still don't know what this ship is fully capable of. It could be our future, or our end." John replied, "You don't realize what I saw inside. That ship is alive. It responds to emotion, thought, intention. If we push it too far, it will explode. Aelte warned me. He didn't have to. He trusted me." A younger leader leaned forward. "Then maybe we should trust them too." The room broke into whispers. Finally, after hours of debate, a decision was made. A peaceful transfer. Under strict conditions, the ship would be returned. No weapons would be taken. No tech copied. John walked out of the meeting and sent the signal. Above Earth, the alien fleet began to descend slowly. Just one ship came close, sleek and silver, shaped like a crescent moon. John stood at the crash site as Aelte stepped out. "The council has agreed," John said. "The ship is yours. No tricks." Aelte bowed. "You have done what we thought impossible. You have changed the path." The alien ship rose from the ground, fully awake now. Its black surface gleamed under the morning sun. It hovered silently, then moved toward the Arakan vessel waiting nearby. The two ships linked, like puzzle pieces coming back together. Then they vanished into the sky. Earth watched as the fleet turned and began to leave. No bombs were dropped, no shots were fired, just silence, and then peace. The alien fleet disappeared into the sky, leaving Earth quiet again. For the first time in days, the world exhaled. The black tower that had risen from the desert sank back into the ground, sealing itself as if it had never been there. The desert returned to silence, the way it had always been until the stars spoke. John Carter stood alone, watching the sky. Dust blew around his boots. The wind whispered through the dunes. It was over. Reporters tried to find him. World leaders wanted to give him medals, interviews, even jobs. He refused them all. He didn't do it for fame. He didn't do it for power. He did it because he knew what war felt like, and he didn't want the world to feel it again. He returned to his shack on the edge of the desert, repaired the broken roof, cleaned his gear, sat quietly under the stars. Sometimes he would hear strange sounds in the sky, not storms, not planes, something else. He never told anyone. One evening, as he walked the dunes, he found a small black box resting on the sand. It hadn't been there the day before. He picked it up. The surface was warm. A message blinked on its screen. John Carter, peace is not the end. It is the beginning. We will meet again. No name, no signature, but he knew who it was from. He smiled. Somewhere out there the Arrakans still watched, not as enemies, not as conquerors, but as neighbors. As a reminder of what could happen when fear is met with understanding. John turned and walked back to his shack. The stars above shimmered gently, no longer sharp with threat, but soft with hope. The world was still fragile, still uncertain, but it had survived, because one man chose to listen.